to another beer review. And again, this is part of the Christmas Advent beer review series. Still struggling for the actual kind of name for it, but anyway. Is there enough light in here? I don't know. Is there enough light? Hard to say, but anyway. We're going to do another beer review, and today we're going to do a Boston Lager. Sam Adams, yeah. I haven't drunk this for years. I drunk it a few times when I've been in the States, drinking in bars in Ohio, many moons ago, different lifetime. And yeah, I remember swigging 2 or 3 of these in a row after the guy that I was going to the bar with. We were both staying in the same hotel, and we're going across the road to the bar from the hotel, and he got hit by a car. So I still remember that. There was a guy from Spokane in Washington, and he was a really nice guy, and yeah, he worked for the same company as I worked for, and we were over there for doing a project, and yeah, as we were trying to cross this really busy road, this woman hit him with a car, and I mean, he was right on the bonnet and bouncing off the windscreen, and me, like a good friend and work colleague, I just kept on going. I didn't stop for him, because first of all, they have jaywalking in America and everything else. We were definitely jaywalking from that point of view, so him being hit, plus he met a damaged car as well, so it's going to be no end of problems. I just thought, keep going, you know what I mean? He's a goner, you know. So that's what I always remember about Sam Adams, or Samuel Adams. So anyway, this is also another one from Adrian. It's been donated by Adrian, and I don't know what price it is, to be totally honest, but it's a 4.8. It's a 330ml bottle, so it's not very big. You know, it's just wetting your whistle when you're ready to go peep. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of lacking a bit, but let's crack it open, get it poured. Hopefully it's a bit good lager, because we haven't had much luck with lagers so far with reviewing. Of course, obviously, yeah, as you can see, it's not bad actually. Oh, you're getting grass, getting green, getting straw. There's another smell there. Get it? Ever so slight metallic. So there is. Bit of an irony kind of smell. Not as bad as what's like Tennent's lager and their irony smell, but anyway. Let's give it a go and see what it's like. It's is there any spill in the bottle? And with a light that small, would I be able to read it? No, there's no real spill in the bottle. It just says apparently it's distinctly complex and balanced. Sounds like a nursing home review, isn't it? Yes, Mrs. Jones is distinctly complex, and she does have balance. You know, so yeah, bit of the old care home, nursing home review. It's there's a strange flavour there. So there is. Quite a lively beer, as you can see. It smells quite nice. A lager though, I'll be honest, it does have the tones of almost bordering on an ale rather than a lager, and maybe that's why I was drinking it when I was in America, because yeah, it was more ale-like compared to obviously the usual kind of stuff of kind of US strength, Budweiser and Miller and all that, you think seriously. It's yellow piss water, let's be totally honest. Lacking in flavour and alcohol, so it's a lose-lose in both accounts. But yeah, this obviously had a bit more flavour. It's hoppiness. It's a kind of slight floralness from the hoppiness. Lager wise, there's no crispness, there's none of that. It's just not really there. Which is a bit strange for a lager. And as you can see, I mean, it's very ale-like in how it's kind of reacting. They come through the bloody ceiling or something. Name of God. What the hell are up to up there? Kids. Wife is up there, I know. She's the biggest kid. See, no, she actually got barred from the pub yesterday. Anyway. I'm not even going to explain that one, but I think it was well deserved. Anyway. Yeah, florally, kind of hoppy notes. Ever so slight bitterness, no crispness really, no sharpness, you know. It's a bit of sweetness there as well. Ever so slight malty sweetness. Yeah, it's complex, I'll give it that. There is plenty of flavours going on there. Strangely enough, none of the flavours you kind of associate with a traditional lager. But they do say it's a Boston lager, so I don't know if that really makes any difference. I'll need to research that. Or is it just because it's made in, is it made in Boston? I don't know if, oh God, there's no chance. How the hell am I supposed to read? Look how small the writing is in that. My eyesight's bad enough. I mean, seriously, give me an inferiority complex. Try to read, what the hell does... Oh, that's a licensed product, so here we go. This makes much more sense. Brewed and bottled by Shepherd Neame Limited, Court Street, Faversham, England. Well, there you go. Under license for Samuel Adams, Boston Beer Company. Ingredients, excuse me, water, malted barley and hops. And there you go. So yeah, it's a bit as American as my underwear. And that says London on it. Because I don't like strange men's names in my underwear. And I've never really understood why I would want another man's name on my underwear. I think that's even a bit too kinky for me. Anyway, let's get back to the beer. It is complex. It's more like a, almost like a golden ale, kind of light. It's like a light ale than a lager. So it is. It doesn't seem to kind of bring back any nostalgia from my time drinking it in the US, and I think that's because it wasn't really like this. It was more like a lager from that point of view, and compared to one of the other reasons, compared to, I think it was more like a lager, but I still think the Americans drank it more like an ale rather than a lager. They drank kind of obviously Miller and Budweiser more like a lager. But I think that was mainly because the Miller and the Budweiser, especially from bottles, at that time was really quite gassy, in fact probably overly carbonated, and it was quite difficult to drink quickly, where I knew Sam Adams, which is what they used to refer to as Sam Adams, in Ohio, was a lot easier to drink quickly, and I think that's one of the reasons why I went for it, especially after. I wish I could remember his name and give him a shout out. I'd probably never see it anyway, but I just wish I remembered his name so I could basically give him a shout out anyway, because he did, fair play to him, he got back up and he did join me in that bar, and yeah, he had a good few drinks, and he didn't really complain. In fact, there was quite a lot of laughter about it actually. We had a right good kind of laugh about the whole situation, but by God, he took some impact on him, so fair play, you know. Took it like a man. The thing I always remember is the absolute face on the woman that was driving the car. There was two women in the front of the car, and just the look of horror and surprise at the same time on these women's faces was just masterful. It really was. It was just a wonderful. I mean, if you could basically have a picture next to the word shock and horror, or surprise, then I think any one of these women's pictures at that moment in time would basically kind of describe it perfectly. But anyway, it's quite a nice beer. It's not really a lager, it's more like a light ale. The flavours are kind of a bit higgledy-piggledy. There is, on the mid-tongue, some kind of hoppy floralness, a slight bitterness, a slight kind of sweetness to start with, and it just seems to be acting completely like an ale rather than a lager. There isn't really the kind of flavours or the crispness or the dryness that you'd get with a lager. So it's nice. I don't know what price it is, but just on the flavour alone, and knowing it comes in a 330ml bottle, which today in the UK, it's not particularly big, and it's not particularly enough really. I mean, seriously. It's got to be at least 440 or a 500ml really. 330 just doesn't really cut it anymore. I mean, it's just not big enough. So yeah, out of 5 I would probably give it I'm going to give it a 2.7. 2.7. It's a nice beer. And it is more like an ale than a lager, but it is a nice beer and some nice flavours to it. It's well brewed, and you can see it's nice and lively. Would I give it more if it was a bigger bottle? Then probably I would maybe give it a couple of extra points more and things like that. But yeah, 2.7 is above average. But if I was really being critical and I was reviewing it as a lager, then I would probably give it maybe a 2 as a lager. Well, no, let's basically on as a traditional lager, I would probably give it 1.5, because it's really nowhere near a lager. But as a beer, and I kind of treat it like a light ale, because that's what I really think it really is more like. Then yeah, a 2.7 is fine, just above average, nicely brewed, and that's it. Nothing else can be really said. So, thanks for watching. Cheers, and bye for now.